3 straight. And there's a magic number. No, it's too early for that magic number, but the magic number for the Pirates is 4. When they score 4 runs or more, they've won their last 14. The Bucs want to get on the board and get Garrett Cole some support. All of that straight ahead right here on AT&T Sportsnet.
He struck him out! Clear the deck! Cannonball coming!
From PNC Park in Pittsburgh, tonight it's the Pirates and the San Diego Padres in the middle game of the 3-game series. Took a while last night, but the Pirates came to life late and came back and beat the Padres. They moved within 4.5 games of the first-place Cubs in the National League Central Division. The Cubs beat the Nationals earlier today, so the Pirates need a win again tonight and get back to within 4.5 of the first-place Cubbies. Try to raise those colors. Greg Brown along with Steve Blass and Robbie Ince-Mikowski. And the big news around town today, the fact that the Pirates have reacquired a very popular player, Sean Rodriguez, from the Atlanta Braves.
Yeah, and Greg, he is as complete a part-time player as you're ever going to find. He can do so many things on the baseball field. You see his abilities as an infielder, making a great play from second base. And look at that. That's committing everything you have to making a play in left field. Really a productive player. We got so much mileage out of him both on the field, and he is that kind of player, Greg, that I don't think he tolerates anyone or anything that doesn't address playing the game of Major League Baseball properly. His presence in the clubhouse will be a plus. And he also got George Cantos, veteran right-hand pitcher. So a couple guys that maybe could give you a little breath of fresh air going through the dog days of August.
Yeah, maybe not national headline news, Steve, these acquisitions for the Pirates, but perhaps enough to really make it interesting down the stretch the rest of August and into September.
Yeah, they've made a difference. They've been around. They know what happens the latter part of a season. They know what it's like to be around a team in contention. So I think it's a plus both ways.
Buccos and Padres tonight, middle game of the 3-game series. The Pirates came to life late. They scored 6 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning, beat the Padres 10-6. Garrett Cole on the mound tonight. Bucs, Friars next.
Net is brought to you by Allegheny Health Network, the largest health system rated #1 in the region for all the things that matter most. By Bordas & Bordas, official legal partner of the Pittsburgh Pirates. And by Kenny Ross Subaru, total confidence pricing. Let's go Bugs!
Well, we, no surprise, I guess.
Picture
little rain.
1,000 words.
We're just on the edge of just a little front. Weren't sure whether it was going to hit or not. It did, just as the anthem was wrapping up. And it poured. And Matt Brown, the head of the grounds crew, going to talk to Dana Sonia, the crew chief here. Just moments ago. And apparently said, all right, get the field ready. But did not suggest that they cover the entire field with the tarp. Instead, they spread the diamond dry substance around home plate and the pitcher's mound and covered those two up with the tarp. And they're going to have to work on the infield now, because you can see from our vantage point it has started to shine up a bit. Now let's see what they decide to do.
Yeah, there's just a small cell sitting right over on top of this ballpark. And this during the anthem, the parrot doing what he can do to protect Garrett Cole. Interesting combo there.
As the anthem is going on, the parrot cap over Garrett Cole.
Yeah, and it really, in back of us, we're telling the truth. There's a very small cell, and it's sitting right over PNC Park as Garrett acknowledges the cover. Ray, and they're putting the kitty litter on the infield as we speak. They'll spread that around, and it doesn't look like there's much behind this small little localized cell. So if it's going to stop like we think it's going to stop very quickly, and in fact it is doing that now, we should be in good shape for a minor delay.
It'll take a little bit of time to get that diamond dry spread all over the infield and rake it, and then the mound and the dirt circle. Francisco Cervelli will be behind the plate tonight. Second straight game after 2 straight days off. He'll be catching Garrett Cole, who will be looking for win number 10. Dan Isonia, again, is the crew chief. And, you know, last night it did not rain for quite a while. The 7:05 start time. They decided to have the field ready because it was very apparent that at some point a front was going to come through here. It finally did. And the game didn't start until about 10 after 9. You add that to a 3-hour, 35-minute ball game, and then the Chicago concert that went an hour, and there were folks that didn't get out of here till well after 2 a.m. this morning. So they have been working hard, the grounds crew, the event staff, personnel around this ballpark. And the Pirates ended up winning that ball game 10-6 after a scoreless 4. Steve Nova and Travis Wood breezed really through the first 4 innings. Zeros across, and it looked as though we were going to be out of here in a couple hours. And then the offense showed up. There was a little bit of sloppy play on the part of the Padres in the bottom of the 5th inning after the errant throw by David Freese led to a 3-run top of the 5th. Austin Hedges, the Padre catcher, threw a ball away, and the Pirates came back. And for the Buccos, it was their 29th come from behind victory in 2017.
Yeah, it seemed like a doubleheader once they got started, Greg. There was a lot of pitching, not any scoring the first 4 innings. And then the 7th inning of last night's ball game, literally, I don't know the exact time, but it felt like it took an hour. From the top of the 7th, when the Padres scored just 2 runs, it seemed like the Pirates were out on the field defensively forever. And then when they came in to hit, they were in the dugout or up at the plate scoring runs forever as they put a 6 spot up on the scoreboard. So the 7th inning last night was never ending. But the thing that was the good thing about it is that the Pirates scored 6 runs, so they made their bottom of the 7th count.
Check out our T-Mobile Unlimited Baseball break as the grounds crew gets the infield ready for play. Steven Strasburg has been placed on the disabled list. Has been progressing with the right elbow soreness, but no timetable for his return for the Washington Nationals, who lost today to the Cubs. Bartolo Colon last night became the oldest pitcher to throw a complete game in 7 years. Jamie Moyer did it with the Phillies. Bartolo Colon at the age of 44 years and 72 days, now pitching for the Minnesota Twins. And the Minnesota victory last night, hosting the Texas Rangers. We'll go back to the studio at a game break with Paul Alexander.
Cubs losers of 3 straight, hosting the Nationals this afternoon. Bottom 6, Chicago leading 4-3. Wilson Contreras blasts a 2-run shot to left center, 19th of the year. Cubs snapped that losing skid, beat the Nationals by the score of 7-4. Guys, back to you.
All right, Paul, thanks. So the Cubs had lost 3 straight. John Lackey getting that win over the much-traveled Edwin Jackson and evening that series. We'll, of course, be watching the Cardinals and the Reds. They're just underway in Cincinnati. And there are the current standings. The Pirates with their win last night. Cardinals losing to the Reds again. Now in a 3rd-place tie with Cincy. The Milwaukee Brewers shut out the Tampa Bay Rays 2-0 last night. Moved within a half game of the Cubs, but losing that half game with Chicago winning today over the Nationals. Brewers have an early lead at Tampa Bay. And Zach Davies on the hill. And it is 1-0 in the 3rd inning in favor of the Brew Crew. This has a good chance to go deep into September, this National League Central Division race.
Yeah, we're talking about, people might be just joining us, talking about the acquisition of Sean Rodriguez and George Contos. By the way, they are not here in uniform tonight, so would we expect them tomorrow? Would that?
Sean Rod?
Yeah.
He's going to be here tomorrow, yep. And then George Contos will be here on Monday night. Let's go downstairs to the field level and see what Robbie and Smikowski sees.
Yeah, so you might wonder, why didn't they pull the tarp? Well, this was a pop-up shower that came out of nowhere. They were not expecting this to happen. In fact, it's the proof is that it's pretty much sunny behind home plate right now. So it's a very quick storm. The one thing they're going to have to do, Greg, they're going to have to reline the field. They're throwing tons of Diamond Dry and getting it spread out all over the infield as much as they can. They were able to get tarps in front of the mound and home plate. So Dan Iasonia, the crew chief, letting Matt Brown and his crew obviously do their work, and they're fantastic with the quickness with which they're working right now. So by the time they pulled the tarp, the storm would have been gone. It would have been time to pull it off already. So this is the best that they could possibly do to get this field in playing shape, and they're working really hard. We should be ready to go any minute.
You know, Robbie and Steve, both these teams hate this. This is the worst case scenario because baseball players, in particular pitchers, are such creatures of habit that's one of the reasons why they didn't want to start last night's game on time, even though it wasn't raining. They saw the radar and they said, you know, within about a half hour, maybe an hour, it is going to get rain. And if it rains as hard as we think it is, they will probably stop it and delay it. We could lose a starting pitcher. He might go 2 or 3. And then we lose Nova. The Padres lose Travis Wood 4 or 5 days. So let's wait this thing out. Tonight, they decide, you know, we're on the edge of it. We're going to warm these guys up because there's a good chance we're going to get missed entirely. Their fingers were crossed that they would just barely get touched by this wet weather. Instead, they got more, I think, than they bargained for.
Well, the weather doubled down. The weather hurt them in the opposite ways. As you said, no prep last night. We had the prep tonight, and it's just one of those things. Like Robbie said, it was a pop-up storm. This thing came over and laid out over PNC Park, and this is the result.
It's been just a wild few days here, of course, and we get just all kinds of colors.
Yeah. That's heading east.
Yep.
Now that's beyond us.
That's past us, but beautiful nonetheless. Now we do have some time to chat. We don't have enough time to replay a game that Mark Grant and I, the Padres color analyst and former big league pitcher, we played some Jenga. Steve Blass, who elected you to be the umpire, the most biased I've ever seen, in favor of a former pitcher.
Jenga is my life.
You called me Chuckles the Clown, by the way. That's how you introduced me.
It was Chuckles and Slappy.
Now what we didn't show was Mark Grant had already dropped some blocks from the top.
Yeah,
and I talked to enough people that are experts at Jenga. And look at this silly dance, by the way.
Yeah, we addressed.
Oh, obnoxious.
We addressed your appeal.
And this is a P right there, P for protest. The league office, we're waiting for them to make a ruling as Mark Grant.
Let's just get to it. Grant,
he's tweeting.
Mark Grant crushed you. He crushed you. He beat you.
It was the Pirates against the Padres, and you
made it
favored
personal.
the Padres.
No. I didn't. I was impartial. I was selected by the International Jenga Commission to monitor this. I knew it would get like this. I knew somehow you'd come up with an appeal. I knew that the appeal would be denied. Mark did everything legal. We sent it to New York for review. After it was done, after you stopped whining and crying, and it was official.
Now, again, I talked to some people who are experts at Jenga, and they say that once a block falls off any way, shape, or form, you lose. Now this is
here's how you lose. Right here. Let's finish it.
No, wait. This is when it falls. Oh,
Yeah.
see, they don't have the video of when Mark tried to put a block on the top, and
because it was legal,
and 4 blocks fell.
Yeah, you got no chance here. I saw a little hand tremor. I saw a little tremor in your hands, and you tried hard. Mark said he's never competed against a stronger Jenga player. But
We also heard some complaints that they said that I used 2 hands. You're not allowed to do that. Well, Mark Grant had used 2 hands earlier, and Steve allowed that. So the whole thing.
And your point is?
The whole thing was a mess.
Well, as a
and you were in charge.
Well.
And I'm glad, by the way, you know how to pronounce it now.
Jenga?
Yeah. And thanks to the Padres for allowing us, for Mark Grant and for Jesse Agler to get involved. Jesse, Mark Grant's broadcast partner this weekend, is Don Orsillo is off on assignment. And Garrett Cole is back out, went into the clubhouse. And he was told that there's going to be just a few more moments before he heads back out there. Let's get to our Rivers Casino tips to win from Steve.
Very simple. Keep the Cole train on track. He's been terrific. Just to give you this number, very simple. His last 5 starts, he's 3-0. In his last 5 starts, he's given up a total of 8 runs. He's doing fine, and he's been particularly impressive against the San Diego Padres. 5 career starts, 4-1. So they're very familiar with him. And he is over that bump in the road where he had 3 or 4 bad starts, and they were hitting a lot of home runs off him. He's been remarkably consistent. He has been very, very good. The last 5 starts have been outstanding. Payback to Lamet, 2 hits, 2 runs last weekend in San Diego. He was very, very impressive. So we owe him a little payback.
Yeah, hopefully the Pirates learned a little bit. They had not seen, of course, the rookie Lamet previously, and the opportunity at least to see D. Nelson Lamet last weekend will help them. And you see the blue sky now has arrived, and so we should be in the clear the rest of the way.
Yeah, and I think they'll running Lamet out there.
And that will be the first of about 20 of references to Lamet that you'll hear tonight. Mr. Jenga. Garrett Cole take this opportunity at least to throw a little bit with Francisco Cervelli as they get the mound and the home plate area lined up and ready.
You don't see this very often when they have these routines. They'll come in from the bullpen, take a breather, get a towel, catch their breath a little bit, and they'll time that very, very close to the time they go out to the mound to warm up. You don't see the starting pitcher playing catch very much before he goes to the mound.
As we mentioned at the top, the Pirates made a couple of deals. They claimed off waivers veteran righty George Cantos from the Giants. He has postseason experience. And Sean Rodriguez, who spent 2 years with the Pirates, signed a 2-year free agent contract over the winter to play every day in Atlanta. Figured he's going to be the starting second baseman for the Braves. And then he and his wife and a couple of their children involved in a horrific car accident. And that cost him what they thought was going to be the entire season with the shoulder surgery. But he ended up coming back much sooner than anyone anticipated. The Pirates send minor leaguer Connor Joe to the Atlanta Braves to acquire Sean Rodriguez, who says he will be here tomorrow. And with more on this, down to Robbie.
Yeah, so you talk about the reacquisition of Sean Rodriguez coming back to the Pirates, Greg. He was a popular guy on the field. He was popular in the community, and he was popular with the fans. He was also quite popular inside that clubhouse. And his reacquisition, as I was discussing it with Andrew McCutcheon, I asked just what impact he had in that Bucco clubhouse.
It meant a lot, man. Great, a lot of great relationships with a lot of players around here. It was tough to have seen him, go somewhere else, but it's best. It was best for him and his family, and that's all you only hope for anyone. And but yeah, he's great in the clubhouse. Great teammate to have. Just happy to have him back.
And barring any travel snafu, Sean Rodriguez should be available for duty at manager Clint Hurdle's disposal tomorrow. As for George Cantos, the other acquisition, he's going to be traveling tomorrow. He will not be available in time for the 1:35 start against the San Diego Padres, but he should be available for duty. So Sean Rodriguez, and we spoke to him in late May, Greg, when he was playing for the Atlanta Braves. He said the 2 years he spent with the Pittsburgh Pirates felt like a lot longer than that. That's how much he enjoyed being a member of this Pirates organization. He's been a couple other places for a lot longer periods of time, mainly the Tampa Bay Rays. So it's going to be quite an exciting day tomorrow to have him back inside that clubhouse.
I would think so, Robbie. He said 2 years felt like a lifetime over here, and he told Rob Beertemple of the Trib that the quote is, they give you 72 hours to report, but hey, we're only 4.5 games out. I'll be there tomorrow. Sean Rodriguez. Steve, I think you summed it up beautifully, that in so many words, he's a no-nonsense guy.
Yeah, there's no tolerance about somebody that doesn't play the game of Major League Baseball the correct way, and that's an atmosphere. I don't think a guy like him even has to talk about it, because when he walks in the clubhouse, you don't fool him. You don't fool Sean Rodriguez, because he knows how the game should be played, and he sees it in himself, and he recognizes it in others. And I know there are probably a lot of cynics out there rolling their eyes saying, oh, Sean Rodriguez. I mean, he was in 15 games, 6 for 37, 162 with Atlanta. Last year, he hit .270 for the Pirates with 18 homers, 56 RBIs. His timing is still not there yet. Probably going to be used mainly as a pinch hitter, similar to what we saw in the past. He can bounce around, play as good a defense almost at any position as anybody on the field. And Steve, there are sometimes guys don't necessarily have the great resume when it comes to the back of the baseball card stuff, the numbers, who can still lead, as you said, by example. And the one that comes to mind right away, take a look at David Ross's numbers. Now, I'm not saying that Sean Rodriguez is David Ross and that the Pirates are the Cubs, but David Ross, the backup catcher, about a 200 career hitter, but had such great respect from that clubhouse. That's the kind of guy Sean Rodriguez is. Yeah, well, those kind of guys, they don't have to say anything. They can see through you if you, quote or unquote, are a pretender, are a fraud. They can see that, and people know that those kind of players can see that. So you better have your act together. And we're not talking about a big headline game changer, perhaps, But, you know, we talk about him playing in different positions all over the field, and that's great. But he blossomed as a hitter. 18 home runs. Did anybody expect that from Sean Rodriguez last year? Absolutely not. So he not only can play all over the place, he's got some pop in the bat. And now we're getting some information perhaps as to when exactly we can start or when you can take the field.
As you said, he's got some pop in his bat with the home runs we mentioned last year, 18 homers, hit 270, and he kind of parlayed that into the opportunity to sign the free agent deal with the Atlanta Braves, a 2-year contract, because the promise of playing every day at second base, the Pirates didn't really have that, though they did talk to Rodriguez's representative, hoping to bring him back. And now they're able to do that. And one thing Neil Huntington mentioned in his late afternoon presser was that what intrigued them about getting Rodriguez back is not that he's just one of those second half rentals or 2-month rentals. They have him under team control for next year. He's still owed over $5.5 million or something like that next year.
Well, the thing too is that you might be getting him at the right time, because let's face it, for everybody, the month of August is a challenge, is a test, and you can get very flat very quick. And here's a breath of fresh air. So, you know, the climate around a ball club is not the primary thing. It's absolutely all about how you play the game. But it's a good feel to have a veteran in the month of August when you're trying to hold the fort, stay involved as long as you possibly can in this division race.
$5.75 million is what he's owed next season, to be exact. And the Pirates make the deal with the Braves. Connor Joe, the minor leaguer, goes to Atlanta. George Contos was taken off, was unclaimed, so the Pirates grabbed him.
I was a little disappointed to see it be Connor Joe, because that could be one of the great names in baseball.
Yeah, I know it.
Connor Joe.
And they continue to get this field ready, and it rained, unfortunately, a little bit longer and heavier than they had anticipated, so they did not cover the field, figuring it would be a quick rain shower.
And Greg, you know, to me the worst thing is, and Garrett Cole's been around a while, this is driving him crazy to sit there. All the players are impatient. They want to get going. But for a starting pitcher, you're out in the bullpen. You're used to being out on the mound within the next 5 or 10 minutes, and it's been longer than that. So it's not much fun for anybody. But the home team starting pitcher, it's an eternity. It's not much fun, and you hope to be able to reboot. And now Garrett Cole gets in the glove, and we're going to go.
Probably telling him,
take what you need.
Yeah. Yeah, just take as much time as you need. In fact, Dinelson Lamet went out to the bullpen again. There he is.
Native of the Dominican Republic, Santiago in the Dominican Republic to be exact.
So Garrett Cole looking for his 10th win. And he has done good work of late, and he's done good work against National League West clubs. And we check the Padres starting lineup. Andy Green has Manuel Margot in right field leading off. Carlos Asuaje went 2 for 4 and homered last night with 3 home runs for the Padres. Corey Spangenberg will follow, and Hervey Solarte is the cleanup man with Will Myers at first. Hector Sanchez is behind the plate. Hunter Renfroe, Dusty Coleman, Dinelson Lamet. 1 through 9, and a lot of rookies in that lineup.
As we said, Garrett has done very good work in 5 starts career-wise against the Padres, 4-1. Overall this year, 9.7, 3.97 ERA. A lot of that ERA came in the stretch of 3 or 4 starts several starts ago. The last 5 starts have been exceptionally good. Start number 23. Opponents hitting 2.5 against him, and very good strikeout to walk ratio. Almost 4-1.
On to defense with Josh Harrison moving over to third base, so David Freese gets the night off. Jordy Mercer is at short. Adam Frazier swinging that hot bat, got to keep him in there. He's at second. Josh Bell at first. Starling Marte, Andrew McCutchen, Gregory Polanco in the outfield left to right. Francisco Cervelli behind the plate.
And we're going to be just about 25 minutes late when they step up.
Polanco did not start last night. He pinch hit and hit a 3-run homer that was unexpected.
And not just any home run, a monster home
absolute
run.
bomb, 434 feet into the river. His first career pinch hit homer. Part of that 6-run 7th inning. Pirates entered that bottom of the 7th down a pair. And Polanco stepped to the plate as the pinch hitter. And the only question was whether it would be a fair ball or not. No question about the distance.
One hop into the river.
Andrew McCutchen and David Freese had reached after one was out. And the Pirates never looked back. They added on and won it. Here is Manuel Margot, who hit one of those 3 home runs last night. And a first pitch strike. In fact, it was a 7th inning home run off Joaquin Benoit just after the Pirates had tied it with 2 runs in the bottom of the 6th inning. Benoit came on, got the first out, and then gave up the go-ahead home run. And Josh Bell with some room. Quick out.
We're underway.
Crew chief, we showed you Dan Iasonia. Stu Sherwater is the home plate umpire with Trip Gibson at first. Dan Iasonia and Lance Barksdale, the other umpires. Dan Iasonia. And ball 1 on Carlos Asuaje.
Don't want to be a whiner and a complainer, but that could have been called a strike. Just saying. Close pitch.
Popped up to shallow center. McCutchen. Oh, a little frisky, high stepping before he makes the catch. Nothing routine, a little fun, and he's been feeling a whole lot better in the last couple months, hasn't he? Andrew McCutchen. A little bit of fun. 2 outs. Brings up Corey Spangenberg. Spangenberg, a couple of hits last night, plus a bases loaded walk against A.J. Schugel.
And it looks like Garrett Cole, in spite of the delay, went out there with his business face on, and you have to reboot a little bit, reset, but he looks fine.
Ball to strike. Really, everybody.
No fun for anybody.
Yeah, missed the start time at 7:05. Get underway at 7:31.
You know, if you go out there as a starting pitcher here in a home situation, home pitcher, and you think that everybody else might be flat, you don't. It doesn't have to be the truth, but if you feel that way, okay, I don't feel flat. I think they are. Even in your mind, you might have a little advantage. It's your perception sometimes, and it may not mean a thing, but it feels good. Hey, I'm ready. I don't know if they're ready, but I'm ready.
Going right after them.
Strike after strike puts pressure on the hitters. Been that way for a few years.
Now Lamet ready to warm up in the bullpen once again. We'll be facing the Pirates in the bottom half of the inning. The Padres, as a team, collectively hitting .234. I was just about to say, we're just showing you how the idea is to attack the team with the lowest batting average in all of Major League Baseball. That's what Cole wanted to do, but ends up walking Spangenberg, a team that does not walk a lot. In fact, only 2 other teams in the National League, the Marlins and the Braves, have walked fewer times, and only the Brewers have struck out more than San Diego. And Hervé Solarte takes a ball. Cole beat the Padres 7-1 on Sunday. Walked 2, struck out 8, gave up 1 run. He's been very good control-wise, Garrett Cole. Farrell Automotive leader stat. Walks per 9 innings. Nova and Jeff Samardzija, the Giants, right there at the top, and Garrett Cole among the league leaders in that department.
It's always a good list to be on.
Solarte checks that breaking pitch, 2-1. He homered last night, his 11th of the year. The 1 run Cole gave up last Sunday was in the 7th inning, a solo homer by the shortstop Dusty Coleman. All of a sudden he falls behind 3-1.
Coleman back in there tonight.
Two quick outs, then a walk to Spangenberg. And he falls behind 3-1 on Solarte. And bounces this into right. So put runners at the corners.
Routine ground ball that finds the hole. Still counts. See the elevation, the ball is upstairs, a little easier to get to than the ball that's downstairs. And when you talk about people striking out, well, you've got a prime candidate right here. Will Myers, over 130 strikeouts.
No one has struck out more in the National League than Will Myers. 0 for 3 last night, walked a couple times. He's also a power threat with 20 homers. Seemed like for the longest time Cole would give up first inning runs, sometimes home runs. He's done a good job of that recently. And he hits them to load them up.
2 quick outs and now a mess.
Just gets Myers to load the bases. Well, Myers has been slumping, so there's another guy that Cole wanted to attack. Hector Sanchez, meantime, since coming off the disabled list toward the end of June, is hitting over 300. Switch hitter. Ball 1. Hector Sanchez, a pinch hitter last night in the 7th inning, and struck out against A.J. Schugel, who did a very nice job under the radar, even though he walked that batter with the bases loaded. You see what Sanchez has done with the bases loaded. Good numbers.
It's amazing, Greg, how quickly you can go from being a very offensive pitcher, aggressive and in charge and out in front. And now you're back on your heels. Now you find yourself out there trying to make a pitch, make pitches.
Maybe some help there, as Sanchez looked like he might have offered it a pitch away. So 1-2.
Thank you. Not much you can do with that ball, either swing and miss or foul it away.
Sanchez has walked only twice unintentionally with 26 strikeouts. And he is caught looking. When all is said and done, Cole puts up a 0. Pirates and the Padres. RAV4 starting lineup, Starling Marte. We follow Adam Frazier, who's hitting .435 since the All-Star break. Andrew McCutchen has a 5-game hitting streak. He hits third. Josh Bell, Josh Harrison, Gregory Polanco, the middle third of the batting order. Francisco Cervelli, Jordy Mercer, Garrett Cole against D. Nelson Lamet.
This rookie right-hander making career start number 12. He has worked 58 innings basically and has struck out 75, so he can get the ball past people, and very impressive against the Pittsburgh Pirates last weekend in San Diego with a win, an impressive line. 6 innings, just 2 hits. Pirates managed a couple of runs off those 2 hits. He walked 2 and struck out 7.
Now Hervé Solarte is his third baseman. Dusty Coleman at short. Jesus Suaje, Will Myers on the right side of the infield. Corey Spangenberg in left. Will Renfroe, Margot Sanchez behind the plate. Manuel Margot, the center fielder, and Hector Sanchez behind the dish. Though Marte was 0 for 3 last night, he did draw a couple walks and steal a base. He has just 2 hits and 15 at-bats in the season series against the Padres. This is, of course, game number 5. Bucks dropped 2 of 3 last weekend in San Diego.
Very nice looking breaking ball by Lamet. That's a perfecta.
Clint Hurdle has talked about the good fastball, but he said that slider was really impressive last weekend. No surprise to show that off.
He is 6'4", 187 pounds, out of Santiago in the Dominican Republic. For a lot of years, the Pirates had a very strong working relationship with Santiago, the Águila Sabeña team.
Lamet shut out the Pirates through 6 innings last Saturday in San Diego. The Padres were leading 4-0, but then he hit Andrew McCutchen to start the 7th and walked Josh Bell, and that's when Andy Green took him out. Those 2 runners would score. He ended up giving up just 2 runs on 2 hits, and he hits Marte. And nothing new for the Pirates outfielder to be hit. He is aboard, and we'll see how quickly he decides to take off for second.
Got a rookie on the mound. That's always kind of an invitation to at least consider going.
stole his 8th base. 6 of those steals have come since he came off the suspended list.
Yep, 2 of those people you just saw on your screen hit by pitches. Mara Barte, the first base coach, not hit.
And a bouncer right to second. That cleans things up.
Pitch and catch.
Well, Frazier bounces into the double play and quickly 2 down. Well, Lamet may be lamenting the fact that he's not pitching at home, where he has an earned run average of 403. On the road, it is 722. July 23rd, he pitched well, however, in San Francisco. Gave up just a couple of runs against the Giants in 6 2/3. Before that, he lasted only 4 innings in back-to-back starts at Cleveland and at Coors Field in Denver.
Well, there's certainly something to work with in terms of polishing his journey through major league hitters. 95-mile-an-hour fastball and a good slider.
McCutchen saw those numbers during this hitting streak. Very impressive again. 17 RBIs over his last 14 games.
He just flat out threw that ball right past Andrew. Kutch's crew. They're on board with Andrew. Overthrown.
McCutchen got the rally started last night with his 1-out single off Phil Maton, and also hit one of the hardest hit balls of the night before the Polanco homer, his line out in the 3rd inning out to left. David Freese, after the base hit, doubled off the wall and right. Freese had homered over the Clemente wall in the 6th. Lamet, it's the strikeout. So he hits Marte, but right away the double play ball and a strikeout. So through 1, 0-0. A free shirt Saturday, thanks to Peoples. First 20,000 fans picking up a cool Pirates t-shirt. A free shirt Saturday. Kids Day tomorrow. Youngsters will receive backpacks, and then interleague home and home series. The Tigers in for 2. Then the Bucks go to Detroit.
A good no nonsense T-shirt tonight. Yeah,
It's right up your alley, isn't it?
That's looking good. That's professional. That's baseball.
That's
T-shirt.
baseball.
Yep. Let's go get it. Get after it.
Very cool. Hunter Renfroe leads things off. College teammates with Adam Frazier at Mississippi State not too long ago.
Very workmanlike zero put up by Garrett in the first inning.
I misspoke when I was going over the defense. Called him Will Renfroe, who's a former NFL player with the Steelers, Redskins, Eagles many years ago from Batesville, Mississippi. No relation. Hunter Renfroe with a fly ball. And one out. Let's see if Cole can take care of the bottom third of the order. He's the man that touched him up for that home run, Dusty Coleman, last Sunday. And now a little chat there with Francisco Cervelli. A lot of parrot dolls on hand.
Yeah. Well, Parrot's had a good year. It's been a good year for the Parrot. He's got to finish it the last 2 months, almost 2 months left before he hits south.
Dusty Coleman, a base hit to right. Coleman came up toward the end of July from AAA, made his debut. Stuck with the club, made his debut July 27th, hit his first career homer against the Mets, and then homered off of Cole, now singles to right. So Dinelson Lamet. This is absolutely what Andy Green wants, because Lamet has struck out 15 times in 18 at bats. Figures to be able to get a bunt down.
Well, with the kind of stuff that Garrett Cole has, you can attack these situations, and as you get along in the at bat, start thinking about strikeouts, foul balls, curveballs downstairs. You might drop the end of the bat, or fastballs upstairs that they don't get to in time. Foul back. Got to get 2 strikes. Thinking about that, but they're trying to give you an out in exchange for 90 feet.
Missed that one.
Kind of a poking at it.
Do you do the exact same thing if you're Cole here?
I go upstairs. Yeah,
okay.
I go upstairs and get, because if he gets to it, chances are he's going to hit the bottom of the ball,
and foul
back.
off.
But Cervelli wants it down and away. That
swings away on a fastball. All right, now if you're pitching and a guy does that, a pitcher who is 0 for 18 with 15 strikeouts, what does Steve Blass do?
high fastball, inside fastball. Knock the bat out of his hand.
You want to do that? You want to show bunt and swing away? Okay.
Yeah, here is it.
Take a look at this. What a high, tight fastball. There you go.
There, there's your foul ball. Yep.
Two outs, top of the order, Manuel Margot. Enjoy a movie night under the stars here at PNC Park this coming Thursday night. Pirates will be on the road, but at 8 o'clock, bring the whole family for a showing of The Boss Baby right on the big scoreboard and left. Tickets only $5, and you can enjoy discounted food and beverages. Get your tickets at pirates.com/movie night.
Yeah, I voted for Dr. Zhivago first and then Tombstone second, but
and then
my votes
and then the Birds third.
No, the Boss Baby third.
Birds aren't one of your
The Birds?
Yeah, Alfred Hitchcock.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Tippi Hedren.
Yep.
Is she your favorite?
She's in the top two.
And runner takes off, got a great jump. And that was much closer than we would have anticipated.
Yeah.
Cervelli did a heck of a job because it looked like Coleman got a couple of strong steps before that pitch was delivered.
He might have been throwing this from one knee. Yeah, that's a big time jump.
Pirates checking to see if Coleman came off the bag at all. Doesn't look like it.
I guess he got over there before the tag was applied. Cervelli, we don't see him in that shot, but strong throw. I think it was from one knee.
2-0 count now on Margot after the stolen base. Manuel Margot and the man on deck, Carlos Asuaje, came over from the Red Sox in November of 2015 in the Craig Kimbrell deal. And in toward right, Polanco. So the 3-0 pitch, he had the green light and he lines out to right. Cole strands another. Still a 0-0 game. To the bottom of the second inning. Take a look at our Quicken Loans Rocket Arms, National League leaders in strikeouts per 9 innings this season. Look at Dinelson Lamet behind Corey Knebel, Max Scherzer, and Brad Hand, his teammate, the lefty reliever. Knebel, the closer for the Brewers. Of course, the great starter Max Scherzer, Felipe Rivero.
And the evil Robbie Ray, who just dominated the Pirates earlier.
Strike is called. Robbie Ray has had health issues. That line drive not too long ago right off the head the end of last month. The Diamondbacks taking on the Giants tonight in San Francisco. Reds have a 1-0 lead at home over the Cardinals. And Milwaukee still blanking the Tampa Bay Rays 1-0 in the 6th. The count is 2-1, but you could see there were 2 pitches right in the middle. W.B. Mason strike zone, practically right in the middle. But maybe the way it was received by Hector Sanchez influenced the call.
Greg, has there been a more dominant game against the Pirates than Robbie Ray threw?
I don't think so, not this season. That was no contest.
Put a licking on us.
And now 3-2. A little pop up on the infield.
I'll tell you one thing, Lamet is not afraid to go to a breaking ball in a 3-2 count. He got Andrew, and now he gets Josh Bell. Struck Andrew out and got Bell for a little pop-up. That's a confident young pitcher, not concerned about throwing a strike with his second best pitch.
He's allowed 3 earned runs or less in 7 of his 11 starts. It's Josh Harrison, 3-hit night last night.
You got the hot bat going.
After missing the Red Series, just 1 pinch hit at bat for him in that Cincinnati series. A lower leg injury that occurred on Sunday in San Diego when he lunged at the first base bag. 1 ball, 1 strike. Gregory Polanco on deck. And the shortstop, Coleman. Fun to watch Gregory Polanco put a big swing on that pitch from Kirby Yates.
You see so many times that kind of swing attempted and said, boy, if he hit that one, it was going to go a mile. Well, that was one of those rare occasions where it went a mile. Just run into one, as they say. With the big swing. A lot of big swings, but not all of them connect.
Lamet, by the way, has given up 11 homers in 59 innings.
And averaging almost 12 strikeouts per 9 innings, as you saw. He's considered an international free agent when he signed in 2014. You know, Santiago in the Dominican Republic is not in the garden spot of the Dominican Republic. Really, they had to find him. But I think that's where our academy is, isn't it, in Santiago? Yeah.
And popped up. There's the third baseman, Solarte. Bucks go down in order. Pittsburgh. We had a rain delay almost a half an hour before we saw the first pitch, and they continue to work on that mound. Garrett Cole has allowed 2 hits. He's hit a batter, walked a man. And during the break, talking to umpire crew, and then Sonia, the crew chief, about
wants to get the foot scraper.
And work on pounding that down, that landing area, maybe too soft for his liking.
There's the foot scraper being, well, maybe dug up or whatever. Yeah, doing. Maybe, are they repositioning the foot scraper?
Maybe putting a new one in there. At any rate,
used to be an old kind of paint scraper that you had back there. That cleaned out your
tongue depressor sometimes too.
Yeah,
right?
Oh yeah, that was the forerunner, and then they went high tech with a paint scraper.
Carlos Asuaje, fly to center field his first time up, takes ball 1. And pops this one up. Jay Hay says he's got it. He does.
Greg, the best application of a tongue depressor, 2 tongue depressors, was in Houston, Texas, when Roberto Clemente went in the trainer's room with a cardboard box, cut 2 holes in it, put 2 tongue depressors in, and like you would steer a Caterpillar tractor, demonstrating on how Manny Sanguillen run the bases. Going to second base. No, he's coming back. And he held court for 20 minutes doing that. It was the most hilarious thing I've ever seen. Yeah, after a game. Sanguillen used to run until somebody tagged him or he scored.
That was it.
Yeah, just keep going. And Clemente just
put on a demonstration.
Yeah, I mean, it was hilarious because 2 tongue depressors, how you steer a piece of heavy machinery, and reversing and forwarding Sanguillen around all the way around the bases. It was great. Wish we could have filmed it.
No, you don't. Glad you didn't.
Probably best.
But it's so great to hear stories like that because, you know,
yeah, you get the
it's a long baseball season, and you got to have those personalities. You got to have fun.
Yeah, and people got to realize that Clemente had a great sense of humor. Yeah. He could have fun. He wasn't just the stern, you know, people think he was up on a pedestal. He was extremely human. The narrative that went with the tongue depressors was priceless.
And to be able to have fun.
Yeah, and Sanguillen enjoying it just as much.
Right.
Yeah.
No sensitivities there.
Yeah.
3-2 now on Corey Spangenberg.
Retire 21, sign the petition. I did.
Well, I'm going to have to debate people on that one.
Okay.
I'm not for that. I've said that before. Oftentimes I said, let's do something different. It's too easy just to retire a number. I mean, Jackie Robinson, great. It's awesome. But that should be Jackie Robinson's legacy. Let's do something really unique for Clemente. Let's say something like, I've heard all kinds of ideas. I like the idea of whoever wins the Roberto Clemente Award, the one person in Major League Baseball who wins that award, he's the only one that can wear 21 that following year. How about that kind of a legacy?
Sure.
I mean, I think that would be cool. One player in baseball every year gets to wear number 21. It's the winner of the Roberto Clemente Award. What an honor that would be. But something unique. I mean, again, nothing against. I understand these folks that everybody means well, and it's just my opinion. But to me, it's too easy just to retire a jersey. I think Clemente meant much more to that. I'd like to see something really unique.
Well, I have always said that if they do that, I'm fine. I'm with it. I'm fine. If they don't do it, I have my own memories. I have retired his number in my mind. But the reason I do it is because of not just his baseball abilities. This was a unique humanitarian.
And imagine that the person that wins that award, first of all, it's already, many have said it's their greatest honor, those who have won this award. The community service that would be sparked by this. Again, that's Clemente's legacy. Again, please don't get me wrong, no disrespect. I think it's great that they're trying to do something, but I would like to see something beyond just be done with retiring the jerseys. I'd like to see something bigger and bolder. So not as many strikes thrown here as he would like. He has a dribbler. A weak comebacker, so a second out. 1-3. And Spangenberg goes to second. That brings up Will Myers.
So third straight year a runner in scoring position, but Padres have not scored.
Third straight inning.
What did I say?
Year.
Yeah.
There's the great one. What a legacy. You know what else I'd like to see, Steve? Roberto Clemente Day should be every year, should be here in Pittsburgh. And I'd like to see only the Pirates play every year on Clemente Day with, of course, one team would rotate, but pick one day and have Clemente Day in Pittsburgh where it should be, and the focus. It should be a national TV game, but it should always be in Pittsburgh, and the Pirates should be the only team and their opponent playing that day.
Yeah, I like that idea.
Again, you can send in your idea, your thoughts. You may completely argue with me. Hashtag Bucks Booth on how to best honor Roberto Clemente. Hashtag Bucks Booth if you have thoughts on it.
And yeah, whatever your opinion, it's
all it is, an opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's nothing bad.
No, it's not a criticism at all. And by the way, while we're on the subject, go down to the Roberto Clemente Museum. If you're in Pittsburgh or visiting Pittsburgh and you love baseball, you'll be impressed. What Dwayne
very
Reeder
impressive, that's for sure.
has done. Well, it's nice that we're having a discussion about a Pittsburgh Pirate. We were fortunate to have him here for 18, 20 years. You got out in front of that far enough. Okay, we're talking about the candidacy of Myers.
How crazy has it been over the years that the Pirates sometimes haven't even played on Roberto Clemente Day? Like they've had the day and then they had to wait a few days before the Pirates got back. It just doesn't make any sense. Those are the things I think that they could
get better
do and really improve on the thought process when it comes to honoring Roberto Clemente. Whether it, I personally think, I also think the message gets lost at times when it's done. The award is handed out at the World Series. Maybe again, Clemente Day in Pittsburgh, one game, September sometime, whatever that date might be. Maybe it's the last Monday in September, whatever. Maybe that's when the award is announced.
I'll go back to your point. I remember interviewing Albert Pujols, who said that was the most highly regarded recognition he got when he was the recipient of the Clemente Award.
It is 2-2 on Myers. And 3-2. Myers was hit by a pitch in the first.
Right now, as you took a look at the 21 background
high wall
and back of Gregory Polanco.
The Clemente wall.
Yep. I remember when we started a season, didn't they kind of mow the area around right field where Polanco was standing with a 2 and a 1?
Yep.
That was a pretty neat portrait right there. And Polanco went down to one knee, and that was very creative.
Myers lines it to left field. Marte can't hold on. And it's 1-0.
Came in on the slippery surface and looked like he was going to have a real good chance to get it. And he did have a good chance to get it. He slides away and the Padres are on the board. And that's a ball he will tell you he should have caught.
That snaps the hitless string for Myers. Myers was 0 for 16 and is credited with a double to give San Diego the lead. Pop up. Mercer. The walk hurts Garrett Cole to Spangenberg, who scores on the double by Myers. For the third inning, Allegheny Health Network injury update. Couple of injured stars from out west. Mariners put Felix Hernandez, King Felix, on the 10-day DL today. Tendonitis in his right bicep, while Giants first baseman Brandon Belt left their game last night, hit in the head, and today the team places him on the 7-day concussion DL.
Is there any player in Major League Baseball that has not been on the 10-day DL?
Let me look.
Probably a few.
I don't think so. Kidding, of course, but many have.
The teams have embraced the 10-day DL.
When Neil Huntington said that in spring training, he said, I can envision teams being very aggressive with the 10-day disabled list. It reduced from the 14 to the 10-day, and he was right on, spot on with that. Sure have been. Bottom third of the order. Francisco Cervelli, back-to-back days off, and returned last night and had a couple of hits. D. Nelson Lamet gave up a leadoff base runner. The first hit Marte. Foul ball. Oh, 0-2 on Cervelli.
All quiet on the third base front.
Whoa. Rattled Sanchez's cage. And Cervelli wants a trainer out. Cervelli has been there. He was on the concussion list earlier this season. Hector Sanchez, a fellow Venezuelan, several years with the Giants. Now in his first full season with San Diego, Padres picked him up on waivers from the White Sox in May of last year.
He took a shot.
See, even the home plate umpire, Stu Sherwater, holding Hector Sanchez up for a time. Mark Rogo, a former Pirates trainer, several years in the Pirates system and in the big leagues, is now the athletic trainer for the Padres.
Trying to convince Mark that he's okay, but they'll thoroughly check this out.
It's almost like Mark Rogo is saying, hey, look at me, because they've got to be absolutely sure.
Look at me. And
he passes all the preliminary tests verbally.
Look at me and tell me who you think I am.
Yeah.
Start with that.
Austin Hedges recently returned from the 7-day concussion DL. In fact, he came off the disabled list last weekend when the Pirates were in town. Hedges started last night.
Catch a couple and see how he reacts.
They take a beating, don't they?
They do. They get beat up. You know, you looking at these guys in August, and, it just wears you down. Wears everybody down, especially the catchers. I mean, they just you get a catcher who's a real regular. I mean, you got to pick some spots where you give him a breather.
Before the at-bat, Francisco Cervelli, Hector Sanchez having some fun. Hector Sanchez from Maracay, Venezuela. Cervelli from Valencia, Venezuela. He is the first out of this bottom of the third, and it's been very routine through 7 batters. Other than the hit man that the Pirates, their first base runner, Marte clipped in the double play by Frazier, and McCutchen struck out.
Nothing since, says Lamet, picking up pretty much where he left off last weekend.
Mercer, 2 hits, 2 runs scored last night.
And I would think, Greg, that from the San Diego bench, they will watch every little thing that Sanchez does for the next few minutes to see if there's just any irregularities which could send up a red flag. Taking a baseball, they're watching very closely. Delayed reactions.
See, the Cardinals there have taken the lead against the Reds. Brewers still leading Tampa Bay 1-0. Zach Davies had a no-hitter broken up in the 7th. Still blanking the Rays 1-0. No hits for the Pirates yet. And now going into 9 innings of work against Pittsburgh in his 2 starts, Dinelson Lamet has been sensational. 2 singles last Saturday at Petco, back-to-back in the 5th inning by David Freese and Adam Frazier.
Full moon coming up over Pittsburgh. It won't be full until Monday night, but it's getting there. Always one of our beautiful sights. Camera folks get great shots of that moon rising. Sometimes it comes up a bright yellow, but it'll be looking good for the next several nights.
Strikeout. Second K. And now faces Garrett Cole.
Upstairs, but he gets away with it. Break the ice, Garrett. Look for that fastball first pitch. Or not. Yeah, because that's what happens. You miss the opportunity with a fastball, you're behind 0-1, and then you get the hook behind 0-2, and you're in a bad spot.
Line foul.
Every time I say that extension on the helmet, I think of the Phantom of the Opera. That's a kind of a reach, I guess. Kind of a stretch.
I think of Dave Parker.
Yeah, yeah.
Back in the, I guess toward the late 70s, I think it was a collision with Phillies catcher Johnny Oates. Broke his jaw, and they worked with the Steelers on a kind of a semi-face mask.
Yeah.
Actually, it was a full face mask.
Yeah.
It was initially, I think it was a goalie mask. Initially, it was a black and gold hockey mask, and then they went to the Steelers and
modified it.
Yeah, got a helmet with a face guard on it.
I remember Chris Spire being interviewed about that, and he said it looked pretty scary. Yeah. The big man
Parker with a
mask.
face mask, with a hockey mask. Strike 3. So he's faced the minimum. The Padres are leading 1-0. Third of the order for San Diego. We're debating about how best to honor Roberto Clemente. We've got a bunch of tweets, Point Park University tweets, #BucksBooth. And I'd like to see 21 Day, where everybody wears 21, all the opponents wear throwbacks. Everybody has 21 on their backs for Clemente Day. 21st home game of the season. Both Pirates and visitors wear 21. Highlight community service. Certainly like the idea of highlighting community service. August 18th, his birthday. I think that's a nice idea. Honor Clemente every day And having the Bucks wear a 21 patch on their unis, create a special patch. For your home game on the 21st every month, both teams wear throwback unis, the Clemente era. Again, hashtag Bucks Booth. Fellow Puerto Rican players wear 21 with pride. Yes, they would.
A lot of them have.
Talked to Carlos Correa recently, the Astros shortstop, when they were in town about that. Flash it throughout the first pitch. Yeah, for his friend. Here, here. Clemente Day.
Didn't Beltran wear 21 for Juan Carlos Beltran?
I believe. I know Michael Lorenzen. We just saw the Reds in town. Lorenzen was the Clemente Award winner for the Reds team. Each team has a Clemente honoree, and then one is selected nationally, and Michael Lorenzen wears 21 for Clemente. Here's Hunter Renfroe. Slide to left in the second. Ball on a strike. Again, bottom third of the order. Couple strikeouts for Cole.
It'd be nice to have him a little tidy inning. Pitch count fairly close to averaging 20 pitches an inning. It eventually cost you. But he's big, he's strong, he's been pitching very well recently. He's given up a run so far tonight, just one.
Six and 1 his last 9 starts with a .283 ERA. Leadoff hit and a slip. Jordy Mercer can't keep his footing. Wouldn't be able to make the play anyway, but he went down.
Inside part of the plate, finds the hole between third and short. Always look at this opportunity for the bottom third of a batting order. It doesn't always work out, but a base hit by the number 7 man. This becomes a critical guy, because now if the pitcher bunts with 1 out, he represents the second out, and you're 1 away from getting out of it. So you look at how things can unravel or play into a script that you'd like to write for yourself as a pitcher. Get Coleman, leave this guy on. Then if your pitcher bunts him over, there's 2 outs. The last time he was able to get the pitcher to foul ball off for a 3rd strike.
And a couple of strikes. So if you're a power pitcher like Cole, that's your mindset. I was wondering about pitchers who throw a lot of the 2-seamers, the sinking fastballs. Do they think in their minds, look, I'm going to get this guy, hit the ball on the ground?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, sure. The guy with the low movement, ground ball guys, and not outside the range of thought too for even a power guy. Keep the ball down. So if he hits it hard, no rule against you throwing a double play pitch. But this to me is the guy you want now, because now if you don't get him, the pitcher can bunt him over 2 guys in scoring position. So see if you can put Dusty Coleman away. And he's got a chance to make him chase.
Taking pitch stays up and in on Dusty Coleman. And toward left, and trouble. Coleman doubles. No one out.
Coleman 2 for 2.
He's the trouble for Garrett Cole. Remember, he hit that home run last Sunday off Cole.
Breaking ball. Had to reach out a little bit, but turns it back around, and Puts the Padres in a good spot. Now, what you want Garrett to do to make a step in the right direction, I think you said that Lamet has struck out a ton of times.
16 times and 19 at bats.
Yeah, so it's not automatic, but you dispose of him and leave those guys right where they are. You've really at least made a step forward. You're in the top of the fourth. Step one in this goal. We're getting on the other side of the net.
Lamet showed bunt in the second inning with Coleman at first base. Eventually struck out.
They want to just pound him inside. Let's see where.
A little pop up.
Take charge. That's a good play by Frazier, but you have more of a comfort level if Polanco takes that ball. He's looking right in at everything. The ball's coming to him instead of having an infielder go and back up. But, okay, you're on the other side. I want to strike out, but nobody moved. See Adam going back, and no, they get it done.
So we'll bring up Manuel Margot, who has fouled out and lined out to right. Middle infield back. Corner infielders up. Ball one.
Well, Margot has struck out 66 times, so he is
300 at bats.
Yeah.
Not a ton. But like his teammates, doesn't walk a lot. They many of them swing very, very aggressively. We saw that last weekend in San Diego. And once they put the ball in play, they are also running aggressively. Bouncing ball, stabbed by Cole. Looks the runner back and gets out number two.
Okay. I thought he was going to take a shot at the runner at third base, but if he is not sure, don't give that out away.
First. Yep. Just make sure that runner doesn't try to score.
Yeah, well, you look him back and see the commitment at third base. He does the right thing.
Yeah, because that runner's at second base anyway. So let's not go through right now. That's you, Steve, right there. Give me that ball back.
Yep, I want it. I want it now.
What a huge lift this would be.
Yep, I got the adrenaline going now. This is my challenge, and I want the baseball. I want to do this.
Strike one.
This is the Garrett Cole mentality. This is that you really, really like about him. He wants the action. He likes the action. He wants to be the man right here.
Shut the door down.
Yeah.
Shut it down.
Not automatic.
Oh, good block.
And the one thing you want him to do, you want that attitude, but you don't want him to get ahead of himself. Controlled aggression. Well done, Francisco. Just get all of Francisco in front of that ball that you can.
Fly ball toward right. Polanco is going to be there, and
big.
Garrett Cole, with runners at second and third, keeps the Padres off the board.
It's time for the Toyota all-wheel drive RAV4th inning. Toyota, what drives you?
Steve talked about just about a full moon. Beautiful shot.
Getting there.
Head to the bottom half of the fourth. Great job by Garrett Cole to put a 0 on the board. Pirate fans looking for another W, get the Pirates on a roll. David Freese talked about that, and yeah, they were still concerned with Hector Sanchez. Took that foul ball off the mask, so Luis Torrens. This is what happened with Cervelli at the plate last inning. They came out, checked on him for a while. He is not able to continue, so Luis Torrens now catching. And Mark Rogo, again the head trainer, checking in on him. He knows all about it. Most catchers do.
Yep. Boy, how about that big time pitching from Garrett Cole, keeping it at a one-run ball game.
Well, got a piece of him, perhaps. One ball, one strike.
Well, we still got Hedges.
Yeah. Another bunt. That's how Marte reached against Lamet last weekend. After he struck out 3 times, dropped down the bunt hit, but this time he's retired.
Yep, too close to the pitcher. That had to be further down the line. I mean, you just look at Lamet. He looks like an athlete too. He looks like he's in good shape, can move around, bounce around. A rookie, so far pretty impressive against the Pittsburgh Pirates.
Adam Frazier hit into a 4-6-3 double play.
By the way, Greg, congratulations to our friend Ross Morgan for that crazy flying machines event at the regatta. Ross and his team finished 3rd out of a possible 400 entrants.
How about that? And congratulations to the Boardleys. 70 years. A nice sign.
Yeah. Ross, the main man behind the left field loonies.
He's the president.
Yeah. Founder too, maybe.
Call him Mr. President.
Mr. President. Hilarious. They build flying machines that can go off the deck and see how far it can go in toward the water. It's pretty wild, pretty entertaining.
3-1 on Frazier.
Way to go, Garrett. You get out of those kind of jams too. You come in, you'll feel pretty darn good. You get a little bounce in your step when you head toward that dugout.
A dribbler, new catcher out there, and handles it without an issue. Flutog is what Steve was talking about. There's one, thanks to Polish Spill for that Point Park University tweet.
That's supposed to fly right there. That thing is supposed to fly.
Well, that's the Smith Brothers pierogi. Well done. Wow. Distant cousin is fried and ready to fly. If you have any photos, maybe you were there today. Hashtag Bucks Booth. Great shots from the regatta. Andrew McCutchen struck out his first time up.
It's about time we did a little something here with the bats in the bottom of the 4th. 2 outs. Have we gotten the ball to the outfield yet? No.
Oh, wow. To look at the Polish spill. Futag. Had a nice crowd on hand on both banks. 3-1.
My wife Karen has been in the catbird seat up on Mount Washington looking down, and highly entertaining day along the rivers. You get a lot of action up on Mount Washington for light up night, 4th of July, any celebration. They're going to have fireworks. It's a great place to look down on the city.
3-2. And he walked him. He threw that perfect slider. The previous pitch, the 3-1, and misses with the fastball. And McCutcheon is just the second base runner. Marte hit by a pitch in the first. Still no hits against Dinelson Lamet. There we are. There's Steve Blass's neighborhood.
Over on the
Marys of the Mount right there.
Yeah. Well, we're over a little further to the right, but we could use a little divine intervention right now. St. Mary of the Mount Catholic Church up there. That's not our condo. We're down to the right, more of the low rent district. Although not so low. Brent.
I want to shout out there to the Sisters of St. Joe's in Baden, watching every Bucko game. Sister Mary Ellen, Sister Ann Francis, Sister Frances Rooney. Speaking of Francis, a little early birthday shout out to Frankie Brown. My nephew gonna celebrate a birthday in a few days. They're having a party down in the D.C. area watching the Bucks.
All right, let's win one for him.
Ball one on Josh Bell. Popped up in the second.
Maybe it has to be something abrupt. Greg, you mentioned he's given up 11 home runs, so.
So are you predicting? Are you throwing something out there like Mr. Walk?
No, I'm
so in case it works, you know. Oh wow, he predicted it.
Yep. Well, I'm going to predict
he's the master of it. A couple of rookies here. Lamet, just his 12th major league appearance. And a ground ball, and at least that's the first hit. Don't know how dramatic it is, but certainly the Bucks will take it. Put two aboard.
I told you.
Yeah, you were right on. You're incredible. Steve called it.
See the spinner? Kind of down, kind of in, and then kind of out to right field. Just enough steam to get past the second baseman.
Suaje, the dive on the Allegheny Health Network Supermo.
I almost said Asiago. I'm so glad I didn't say that until just now. Got it past Asiago.
Almost. Let's see if Jay Hay can deliver a hit, can tie it up.
You predicting that?
Nope. Just saying it could. I'll tell you, I'm predicting a hit through the infield ties this game up. Yes.
Okay.
If he gets a hit here through the infield, it'll tie it up.
Well, yeah. Of course. If he lines it to left center field to the wall, it'll be good also. A hit, you're predicting a hit up the middle. Okay.
Tied him up. One ball, one strike.
So we break the spell. Yeah, that's as good as it gets with that kind of heat and that kind of location.
Fly ball to left for Spangenberg.
Went off speed and got him.
1-0 Padres through 4.
brought to you by the Chevy Trax and your Western PA Chevy dealers. And by Day Automotive. We're going to make your day. Let's go, Bucks!
1-0 to the 5th inning. Pirates Padres. Middle game of the 3-game series. It'll be the 3, 4, 5 hitters in the lineup for San Diego.
We got some friends up there from Smithfield Trust Company. My son works for them. They've got the 1903 World Series box. And glad to see all those folks. Jim Zern and company coming out to watch the Bucks. Smithfield Trust.
In good hands out there.
Yep.
Corey Spangenberg has walked twice. Spangenberg from Clark Summit, Pennsylvania. It's toward the Scranton area, northwest of Scranton. First round pick in 2011. Padres trying to change direction. Remember a couple years ago that spending spree they went on in the winter, spending all that money, and over the winter, boy, they were the talk of baseball.
Doesn't always work, does it?
No, it certainly didn't for the Padres. And now they are again going in a different direction. Gone way younger. Mark McGuire is their bench coach. Big Mac.
Yeah.
And a called third strike.
Just number 3. Hervey
Solarte has singled and bounced back to Cole. It's headed toward the seats. Harrison over. Tough footing, especially for a guy who is coming off that leg tightness. Now Cervelli again going to talk with Garrett Cole about how to attack Solarte. And Will Myers to follow. Adam Frazier and the crew chief Dan Iasonia. Pirates conclude the season series tomorrow afternoon against these Padres. We were talking on the radio side, you and I, Steve, last night about how the Padres, for that stretch, owned the Pirates here in Pittsburgh. From May 2007 until September 2013, the Padres came in here and won 19 of 22. At one time, they had an 11-game winning streak over the Pirates here at PNC Park. It was going back to September of 2009. But since then, the Pirates have won 8 of 11 over the Friars here. And Steve certainly remembers. He was part of that Pirates team that owned the Padres when they came into the league as an expansion club in 1969. Might be a tough play here. Cervelli in one motion, and Bell can't hang on. A base hit for Solarte.
That close to making a good play. Just got out far enough where it made it difficult for Cervelli, but he got there in time, and the short hop just wouldn't stay inside the leather. See the reaction from Garrett Cole. He's needing a tight inning where he can throw like 8 or 9 or 10 pitches and get out, and that would have been step number 2 toward that. All right, let's just get a double play then.
Will Myers hit by a pitch and doubled, and lines this deep to center field, and McCutchen turns and watches it. A line drive home run for Myers. His 21st. 3-0 Padres. Will Myers, and Solarte ahead of him. It is the 22nd allowed by Cole this year.
And this was a bullet. Out over the plate, and he just gets all of it on a line. That ball did not have a lot of height. What it had was a lot of carry. It's the type that Polanco pulled down the right field line last night.
Myers at slump. He was out of the lineup 2 of the 3 games last weekend against the Pirates. How badly he was slumping, and came into this game hitless in 16 at bats. Hit by a pitch in the first inning, and then the ball that Marte could not handle, dropped for a double, and now the homer.
You know, Greg, you can never go back. We both agree on that and say, what if? But it begs the question, if you make that play at first base, does it change the approach? Nobody will ever know, but it does make you think.
Cole will get the out, and the ball hit by Luis Torrens. Torrens is first at bat. Well, the one thing we know for sure, it would be 2-0 at the very worst. Instead, it's 3-zip, and the way Dinelson Lamet is pitching, it feels like more like 10.
Yep. He has been dominant.
Now Hunter Renfroe, he lines it to left field. That will carry out to Marte. Couple of bullets, the one left the yard. So he's telling Garrett Cole he's done. not positive. He might be grabbing a batting helmet as well. Tomorrow is a kids' day. Bucks and Padres 1:35. Get there early. Visit the #1 Cochran Family Fun Zone on Federal Street. All kids 14 and under tomorrow get a Pirates backpack thanks to Chevron. After the game, kids can run the bases, courtesy of the original pizza logs. Go to pirates.com/kidsdays for your tickets. Jameson Taillon for the Pirates against Clayton Richard tomorrow afternoon. Cole hoping the Pirates have a little quick offense here and maybe he can stay in the ball game. Get Polanco and Cervelli to reach. Maybe Mercer delivers a hit. Doesn't look that way, but we'll see.
And one swing of the bat has created this scenario.
Yeah.
1-0. It's a different feel. It's a different scenario. Here we are.
Will Myers. 21st home run.
At one time touted to be the next big thing, Will Myers.
And a line drive. Oh, nice play on a backhand by Coleman. Dusty Coleman. Quick play.
Yep, in between hops, he's got the glove right there. The rest of it's easy.
Different angle. And there it is.
Good play.
To retire Polanco to begin the bottom of the 5th. And Dinelson Lamet likes it. Starts Cervelli off with a breaking pitch. And they're in the 9th inning in Tampa Bay. And the Brewers are leading 2-0, looking for back-to-back shutouts. That was the final last night in that interleague ball game. Hernan Perez at his 12th home run of the year for the Brewers. A win and they stay a half game back of the Cubs. Cardinals leading the Reds 2-1 in the 7th. Pirates and Reds started the day both 4.5 back of Chicago. Wade LeBlanc back off the bereavement list. And Daniel Hudson, the right-hander. Wade LeBlanc, well, it's going to be tough for him. His father passed away just 2 days ago. Wade LeBlanc back with the Bucks. Daniel Hudson loosens in the bullpen. And down on strikes goes Cervelli. The Pirates, to make room, or roster room for their moves today, designated for assignment, John Marinez. And Danny Ortiz, who had spent a little bit of time with the Pirates earlier this year and has been playing in the outfield for the Indianapolis Indians. Well, if Cole doesn't bat, he will pitch the 6th if his spot in the order doesn't come up.
I've been in these situations, Greg, and you have mixed emotions. You want your guys to get on base, but go ahead and pop it up. Let me go out there for one more time. We can start from scratch in the bottom of the 6th.
Mercer struck out in the 3rd. 4 punch-outs for Dinelson Lamet. He has given up 1 hit. The Josh Bell ground ball last inning that eluded the second baseman Asuaje. We had heard good things about Dinelson Lamet when we came into San Diego last week, and we've seen it for our own eyes. 6+ 2 hits last Saturday. Now trying for 5 shutout frames so far. Pirates didn't score off Lamet until he was out of the game last Saturday. There are 2 runs in the 7th inning. because Andrew McCutchen and Josh Bell had reached, and that's when they lifted him. Darren Balsley, the pitching coach for San Diego.
Looks like a repeat so far, almost identical.
You get some of the breaking ball.
In fact, better.
1, 2, 3 go the Pirates, trailing 3-0.
Fantasy camp for kids. Pirates Charities hosted a Miracle League fantasy camp earlier today at the Bill Mazeroski Field in Murraysville. It was for athletes 18 years of age and older, over 30 of them, and they learned from the professionals such as Pirates alumni like Grant Jackson, Barry Jones, former manager Ken Maka, and our own Teak served as instructors. The focus of the camp is to provide players with special needs the opportunity to learn and play the game of baseball while being able to provide a similar experience to Major League Baseball's camps and clinics. Each player received a customized jersey, a goodie bag, and were treated to lunch afterward. All in all, a great day. And Steve, I know you've been to that field before, and I know that you know what that means to these kids to play baseball. It's fantastic. Absolutely.
Those are the kids that were told for so long that they couldn't play baseball. We were there on a Saturday morning a long time ago when that field opened up, and it's just been a part of a network now with Greg that started up in Cranberry with the Miracle Fields.
Yeah, originally started in the Atlanta area, but Mike Sherry took that idea and presented it to the Pirates several years ago, and Bob Nutting really loved the idea and teamed with the folks in the Cranberry area, and yeah, now that's sprouted all kinds of fields around Western PA, even the Sarasota Bradenton area. The Pirates and the Orioles got together and put up a field down there.
Yep, Minnesota they call it, out in the South Hills. Sean Casey had a lot to do with that one. It's just all good, all good.
It's a good start for Cole to strike out Dusty Coleman, and a little bit of a nemesis.
It's him to chase something unhittable.
Just here for the snacks.
Hey, honesty.
And Nelson Lamet going to pick up his first hit after 20 at-bats that were hitless. He gets his first big league knock.
Just adding to the frustration of Garrett Cole tonight. He's been kind of nicked at times, gotten out of jams, but has never had a 1-2-3 inning. And Polanco was thinking about going to first base. The pitcher running. But this young man, he looks like an athlete. I mean, he can handle his body, he can handle what he's doing on the mound, obviously. And Gregory kind of slapping that ball up in the air, and nothing else could happen.
Now the home plate umpire checks Cervelli.
Yeah. Sanchez took one, and now Francisco takes one. So these Padres do not get their at-bats shortchanged, as everybody looks down, wants to know what's going on in the bullpen. Checking it out. Remember how busy the bullpen was at Three River Stadium, with hot dogs being thrown down in exchange for baseballs on a rope or string, or all kind of activity.
I'm sure you guys did some of that at Forbes, didn't you?
Oh yeah, my goodness. We used to send the clubhouse kid down to George Akins to bring back fish sandwiches. Perfecta, as you see on the UPMC grid, strike zone.
Carlos Asuaje looking down at that bullpen as Wade LeBlanc gets ready. Asuaje is 0 for 3. Ball and a strike.
I think you made the point earlier, Greg, 3-0 San Diego, but it feels like 10 with Lamet. And it's getting late.
And in the air to left, Marte. Well, that will definitely do it for Garrett Cole. See if the Pirates can't do something against Lamet. Down 3.
Authority of the Pittsburgh Pirates and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. And the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
On the UPMC scoreboard, it is 3-0 Padres as we head to the bottom of the 6th. Create your next masterpiece this Monday at PNC Park during a paint party with Paint Monkey. Enjoy a pregame painting session featuring a Pirates-inspired painting. And stay after the game when the Buccos take on the Tigers at 7:05. Get your tickets at pirates.com/paintmonkey. Pittsburgh's #1 fan is getting married.
Well,
how about that, Steve?
That says it all, doesn't it?
Sure it does.
Congratulations.
John Jaso pinch hitting for Cole.
Garrett Cole on the race average. 6 innings, 3 runs, 8 hits, a couple of walks, 5 strikeouts. Garrett Cole on the hook. Pirates on the hook, on the Lamet hook. But that could change quickly.
No problem with his pitch count. He's under 80 pitches. He threw 104 last weekend against the Pirates in his 6+ innings. T. Nelson Lamet, his 12th major league start, second straight against Pittsburgh. And right back to him. 1 out.
He's kind of making it look easy.
Check out tomorrow's starters. Our Nissan road ahead. It is the righty Jamison Tyone. He's looking to right the ship. And they're going to check on Lamet. That ball hit more than just his glove. Clayton Richards starts for San Diego. That ball came back. It did not look clean.
I think you better get him out of there just to make sure.
Be safe. got his right hand. Yeah, no sense risking it. Get him out of there. Clips his hand there. A lot of palm. I'm gonna test it out.
Well, he's testing it out. Well, we have a moment. Want to thank a good friend from out in the South Hills for coming out to the ball game for some buddies. Met John Taglianetti, Peter Taglianetti's son, who works for the Penguins. A really impressive young man, and had a chance to get to know him a little bit. Also, Danny Rayburn, Steve Fischetti. Mention their names because they're all really high-class golfers in that they pay very quickly when they lose. So appreciate that, fellas.
Always a good thing.
Yep. John and I were able to extract some cash today. Nice young man.
Hey, by the way, Steve, belated birthday wish to our buddy Rich Donnelly.
Yeah.
Celebrated a birthday a couple days ago. And you know, today, Nellie Bryles would have been 74. Nellie Bryles.
Yep. Yep.
Late
class act.
Bucko.
Came over to the Pirates fairly late in his career, did a great job in a World Series, and then an even better job in the community that did a lot of corporate work. Made a lot of friends for the Pittsburgh Pirates. I remember him well as an opponent with the Cardinals for a lot of years. Had a lot of good years with the Cardinals. Great World Series game. Great World Series game. I think it was a 2-hit shutout in game number 5. Two hits or 4 hits, but anyways, he spun a shutout. The Baltimore Orioles.
Cody Bauman, Phil Maton in the bullpen. Lamet threw a couple of pitches. Actually threw 3. 2 of them were in the dirt. And then the final one was better, and he said he was okay. Certainly better the 3rd time through the lineup, and that's where we are now. And toward right center for the 2nd out. 2 outs in the 6th, a 3-0 game.
He just continues to work it. I'm going to go back that old discussion we've had a few times that hey, maybe we'll get to this guy 3rd time through, we'll know him better. Well, pitcher gets to know you through the 1st time also, so there'll be some memories of what was successful for him. It's not all one-sided.
Adam Frazier swung at the first pitch in that 1st inning, hit into a double play. Last time up, dribbled one in front of the plate.
One outfield putout. The Harrison fly ball to left field in the 4th. Oh, I'm sorry. And Marte, of course, here. In the bottom of the 6th. Not much action in the outfield. Edging up to the 90 pitch count here as he works in the 6th inning.
I think for a young pitcher, that's the mark that these managers, in this case the manager Andy Green, pitching coach Darren Balzer, watching. And they had the bullpen ready. Starling Marte flied out to right center, hit the ball pretty well. Comes back with a strike.
I think he's had one outing with 96 pitches. No, 104 as you mentioned last time.
Just 3 base runners tonight. Hit Marte in the 1st, walked McCutchen, and gave up a hit to Bell in the 4th. Close pitch. Ball 4. Good job by Frazier. Boy, you would love to get to that bullpen in this inning.
Yes.
Andy Green doesn't want to touch it if he can avoid it. Going to that pen now. I'd like to see Lamet at least finish up this 6th. Bauman, saw him last night. Gave up the RBI base hit in the 6th inning to Frazier. And we also saw Maton. One big swing from McCutchen would make everybody feel better. And the proceedings.
Yes, indeed. Andrew got a call there. Good looking breaking ball that Sherwater felt stayed underneath.
Light breeze blowing from center toward left. And 2-0.
The bat is setting up in that direction. That possibility, Greg. You get yourself a 2-0 count. You might get a little help to left field. See flags. A lot of folks hoping something's going to happen. Yeah.
3-0.
Do you turn him loose?
I was going to ask you that question.
I'm guessing, but I'm guessing yes. I mean, he's got the power to get you within 1.
Yeah, he's your man.
Yeah, he's the man.
He sees a pitch he likes. Take a good cut. Very important pitch of this night for the Pirates.
That was in that power zone. That was a little bit up, a little bit in, but taken all the way. There it is. That's that top number, number 4, up there. A little bit up, a little bit in.
Ball 4.
Okay.
2 on. What does Andy Green do?
You know, this is interesting because many times I've heard managers say, well, I didn't take him out because I felt like he was the best I had. But now
that's going to be it.
Yep,
he's going to turn, maybe turn Bell around. We talked about this on the radio side last night. He's got the righty and the lefty. You would assume he would go to the lefty, but he let Bell hit on the left side last night. It is going to be the right-hander, Phil Maton, going to come on to face Josh Bell with 2 on, down 3, 2 outs in the 6th. We'll be back.
SportsNet is brought to you by Barrel. Check out barreltires.com and never overpay for tires again. And by Levin's, the official furniture and mattress supplier to the Pittsburgh Pirates. For the best quality, service, and value, shop Levin's. Let's go Bucks!
3-0, and Dinelson Lamet gives way to the bullpen.
Yep, giving up one hit. But he is gone. Phil Maton coming in. We saw him last night for one batter. Came in, face starring Marte, got him out.
Bell 1 for 2.
A couple of home runs that you see he has given up. Just saying.
Ball 1. The only hit for the Pirates tonight belongs to Bell.
Well, we saw what Mr. Polanco did last night to erase a Padre lead.
2-0.
And a nice place to be and an at-bat in this situation.
25th big league appearance for Maton. Paducah, Kentucky native.
Look for a pitch right here.
Just missed it. Came in on him and he pops it up. Shallow right, and the catch is made, and a little snow cone from Renfroe for the final out of the 6th inning. Pirates leave a couple and still trail 3-0.
UPMC scoreboard as we hit the top half of inning number 7. Well, the Pirates' top pitching prospect has just earned himself a promotion. We're talking about Mitch Keller, promoted from High A Bradenton to Double A Altoona. He's thrown really well in the last couple of weeks. He's allowed a total of 3 earned runs in 19 innings over his last 3 starts, and his whip of 1 would lead the Florida State League if he had enough qualifying innings. And the Pirates farm director, Larry Broadway, said we are ready to expose him to the challenges at the next level, and that is to start facing upper-level hitters. It will be good for him to experience the last month in Double A in preparation for 2018. Keller was drafted by the Pirates in the 2nd round 3 years ago, back in 2014. He will make his first start, guys, at for Double A Altoona tomorrow at Trenton. So look for Mitch Keller, final month of the season as a Double A baseball player, guys.
Yeah, that's good. Moving up the ladder, get an opportunity.
Corey Spangenberg, 1 hopper to Frazier.
Mitch Keller, opponents hitting 204. That'll get you consideration for a promotion. And the numbers for Wade LeBlanc, who's done a nice job for the Pittsburgh Pirates. Appearance number 41. And here in the top of the 7th inning.
The Met pitches shutout ball. 5 2/3, 1 hit.
Well, we're in the 7th inning. The 7th inning was awfully good to the Pittsburgh Pirates last night. It was also a challenge for Pirate pitching to get out of the 7th inning at some point. The 7th inning was forever. Both sides doing damage.
And popped up on the infield. Josh Bell will make the catch, 2 down, and then Cervelli got it perhaps on the backswing.
Yep. Keep track of the bat.
Oh,
the hand.
Man.
Oh, my goodness. Ouch, 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 ouch. And there's not much protection on the hand. There's not much protection at all. It's like a gunfight on Main Street when they shoot the gun out of your hand. Yep. Give me the mask. Give me the glove. And let's go. We see that whole process so many times. Give me the mask. Give me the glove. Let's go.
We'll bring up Myers. On base 3 times. Homered his last time up. Takes ball 1 from Wade LeBlanc, the former Padre. Myers doubled in the first run off of Marte's glove in the 3rd, and the 2-run line drive homer in the 5th. Wade LeBlanc mentioned pitching with a heavy heart. Just yesterday, his father at the age of 60 passed away with a long battle with Alzheimer's. And he was there when his father passed away down in Lake Charles, Louisiana.
60 years old.
Two and 2 on Myers. LeBlanc returned to the team today. He was away on the bereavement list for just a couple days. Awfully tough.
At any age.
Yep. His mom was there.
Yeah. Got a lot of friends, but you only got one dad.
Yep. And ball 4. Myers reaches for a 4th straight time tonight. And now LeBlanc will face Luis Torrens. Second at bat for Torrens. He came on when Hector Sanchez got dinged up. Johnny Washington, first base coach, talks to Myers. And in the air toward right, Polanco. That'll do it in the top of the 7th. Try and stretch some hits out of these Bucks. Rodriguez, the hero. Solo home run leading off the 9th inning off former Pirate Ross Ollendorf gave the Pirates a walk-off win against the Reds. Sean Rodriguez's 11th home run of the year. Went on to hit a career-high 18 for the Pirates last season. In case you missed it, the Pirates have reacquired Sean Rodriguez. He will be here tomorrow. As he said, you get 72 hours to report, but hey, we're just 4.5 back. That was before the Cubs won today, and he said, I'm going to be there. We'll see George Contos on Monday. He joins the Pirates bullpen.
It's a plus to have that guy around.
Yep.
I mean, there aren't too many part-time players that hit 18 home runs, for one thing, starters.
And play the type of defense he can play any position.
Yeah, and it's all out. It's leaves it out there in the field. Okay, 7th inning again, just like last night.
And hit well toward left center field, sending Spangenberg back to the deepest part of the yard. Clear the deck, Jay Hay. Get the Bucks on the board with your 12th. It's 3-1, and it is the 7th inning again.
And nothing cheap about that home run. Yeah, he got it up. There's a little breeze helping, but he gave that ball a big old fat ride over the 410 sign, the Northfield notch. That's a whole lot of Jay Hay.
Well, that young fan there over that wall on the north side notch. A happy fan and a happier bench.
Yes, breaking the spell. Second hit, first run. Ball game. Back in the ball game.
So now Polanco. Another look.
Yeah, it's worth a look. That's right in that sweet zone. That's juicy right there. And he juices it out of the ballpark.
It's the 3rd allowed by Maton.
Nothing cheap about that home run right there. Up, in, and out.
Josh Harrison. Boy, good job by Polanco. Started to get a little bit anxious maybe, and that was a very close pitch.
Yeah, good take. As the dust settles on that, the take is allowed. Keeps the at bat alive.
2-2.
All of a sudden, everybody got interested.
2-2. And rolled to second. The Pirates down a pair. After the home run by Jay Hay, now Francisco Cervelli.
Ding-a-ling-a-ling.
Moon hits your eye like a big pizza pie.
They call the white pizza when you order. Yeah. I wouldn't know. I'd go for double sausage.
Yeah.
Everything you can pile on it. White pizza sounds just a little too nutritional.
One ball, no strikes on Francisco Cervelli. He has bounced out and struck out.
And been struck on the hand. And the mask.
David Freese is in the hole. It's a pinch hit. If it gets to that point. Close pitch. Didn't get the call, and it was a ball out of the zone.
Cut fastball or hard slider. Just missing. Just a little outside.
Maton came on to face Starling Marte in the 6th inning last night with 2 men on and got him to ground out. Only batter he faced. And now it's ball 3. "23 innings of work, just 2 walks for Maton. Made his big league debut June the 11th. And a base hit for Cervelli.
Nice hitting count. 3-1. Cashes it in.
Solid at bat because there were some pitches that he didn't offer at, and rightfully so. They were just off the plate.
3-1 count. Looking for a pitch and getting it. Cashing it in. That's what good hitters do.
It's Jordy Mercer now. Last Saturday, Maton 1 1/3 scoreless innings in relief. He came on Saturday in a key situation, got a strikeout of Jose Osuna, and then pitched a scoreless 8th.
Nice take there. A couple of home runs given up. Jordy Mercer, by the way, double figures in home runs, sitting on 10. Tough take on a perfect pitch. He gets a call. Another good looking delivery from the rookie.
Greg Stammen. Saw him last night. Pop up. Margot. MLB.tv every night, every device. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live, plus get a free subscription to At Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details. See if David Freese can deliver. He bats for LeBlanc. Just 4 at-bats as a pinch hitter this season. Freese 0 for 4. A pair of hits last night, including an opposite field home run, an opposite field double. Freese's numbers on the season. Maton had given up 2 home runs before the dinger by Harrison that led off the 7th inning. Both of those home runs came in 1 appearance, July the 9th in Philadelphia. And a line drive toward right field, and that's going to drop. And luckily for Renfroe and the Padres, that didn't skip past him, although Margot did a really nice job, the rookie hustling to back him up. So a pinch hit opposite field single for Freese, and you take a look at his approach, Steve, the last few ball games.
Yep, this is what he does. You don't see him selling out to pull the ball up the middle, and his signature direction, sometimes deeper than others. Right center, right field, productively. David Freese, opposite field, and we're holding our breath till this gets down on the grass, and then once we know it's going to do that, we're hoping for better things. If that ball gets by the right fielder, they'd still be running.
2 on, 2 outs. Ball 1 on Marte. Hit by a pitch. His first time. Tried to bunt for a hit in the 4th. Flied out in the 6th toward right center. This is the 3rd time he's faced Maton. Last weekend he bunted for a hit against him. Last night he grounded out. Talking about learning the pitcher. Well, hard to get a good book on a reliever, especially if you see a team only a couple times a year. Well, Marte, this is his 3rd at bat against Maton.
And a nice place to be in the count, 2-0. Look for something. Sell out.
3-0.
Or take it.
A lot of rookies on this club. Position players, pitchers. Saw Lamet make his 12th major league start. And now here Maton with a strike, appearing for just the 25th time in his major league career. 3-1. Fans didn't like the call.
No, it was a strike up, way up in the strike zone at the top, at the ceiling.
Ball 4, they're loaded. And once again, Andy Green is faced with a decision with the left-handed hitting Adam Frazier coming to the plate. Now, Frazier has been excellent in his early big league career against left-handed pitchers. What does Andy Green do? Is he going to stick with Maton? Doesn't look like it. Got the veteran righty Stammen, and then a lefty was up just a moment ago.
Kind of calls more for a veteran presence, I would think.
It looks like he's not going to go to the veteran. He's going to go to the lefty.
Oh.
Buddy Bauman,
Okay.
the rookie. So the left-on-left matchup that we saw last night, Frazier delivered. We'll see if he can do it again. Run by Josh Harrison here in the bottom of the 7th inning, and here's the matchup again. It was Adam Frazier as the pinch hitter in the 6th against Buddy Bauman, and he delivered, bringing home Jose Osuna. Had tied the game in the 6th. Here we are once again.
That little slicer to left.
Hitting .350 against lefties on the season is Frazier. Can he deliver again here? Takes ball 1. Meantime, Bauman has faced lefties only 10 previous times. That hit by Frazier, the only hit he's given up. They're 1 for 10.
So Bauman goes from one side of the strike zone to the other. He could be out in front 0-2 if he got that call on the first one, which could have happened. Now we got a 1-1 count.
Pass! The third baseman in the left! And David Freese does not run well and slow footing on that infield, so he's held up. It is 3-2.
How about Frazier?
Adam Frazier hitting over .380 in his big league career against lefties. Another look.
That could have been a strike. That was a strike. 1-1, and then the slicer has found something downstairs. Just gave it a solid whack. Big time work.
A strong throw from Spangenberg. No chance for Frazier to get 2 RBIs. He's got the hit that gets the Bucks to within 1. New pitcher coming on with McCutchen. Due up. plate with the bases loaded, 2 outs. The Pirates trailing by 1. They're trying to rally for a second straight night against the Padres in the 7th inning. And Craig Stammen, the veteran righty, who got 2 outs in the 6th inning last night, will face Andrew McCutchen, who has outstanding career numbers against him.
And look at that second line up from the bottom. 11 home runs out of the bullpen. That's a lot.
McCutchen 3 for 7 with 2 home runs in his career against Stammen. Remember, McCutchen has never hit a grand slam. And a strike. A hit will do anything. A walk will do. A wild pitch.
A lot of possibilities.
For Stammen, the former Washington Nationals starter, has appeared in 12 previous games against the Pirates. Andrew McCutchen had a 3-homer game against the Nats August 1st, 2009. And that game, his first homer was against this man, Stammen. And he pops it up on the infield. Myers worried about that mound initially, but makes the catch. The Pirates get 2. A home run by Harrison. RBI hit by Frazier. They leave them loaded. Bucks trail by 1. How do you feel? A little bit better. Down a run now. Heading to the 8th inning. Josh Harrison, the home run. Got the Bucks on the board. Adam Frazier's base hit. Made it a 1-run ball game. Need to keep it there. Frazier, the second baseman, delivering against the lefty. Daniel Hudson. Hunter Renfroe, 1 for 3. Point Park University tweets.
Liking that number 7.
Not liking falling behind 2-0.
No.
Adam Frazier. That hard hit ball to left.
You like to think that if he hit it a little slower.
I was just thinking the same thing.
But
or
they catch it.
I know. You mean a ground ball there?
Yeah.
Or if that infield is completely dry, we didn't get all that rain, could even Freeze have tried to score? It looked like he was just trying to kind of negotiate as he approached third base.
Yeah, keeping his footing. And you wonder if it happened in the 8th inning. Would you just send him and hope for a bad throw?
A lot of questions, but
it didn't look like a good, all those things considered, didn't look like a good time to send him.
Bottom line is it was a solid hit and scored a run. Josh Harrison's home run got them on the board. And into left field. And Marte will let it drop. It's a leadoff hit for Renfroe.
You want the shutdown inning because you've just made some noise and you want to get back with the bats as quickly as possible. And
now Hudson and Cervelli meet. Hudson will face a Dusty Coleman and then the pitcher spot. Good crowd on hand, 31,817, endured a half-hour rain delay at the start. Coleman is 2 for 3. Garrett Cole gave up 3 runs in his 6 innings. And that ball hit well to center. McCutchen back. And Dusty Coleman hits a 2-run homer. His 3rd. And just like that, the Padres get those 2 back. And they now lead it 5-2.
This is trying to follow a script from last night. We don't want to have to face that again, but here we are. A quick 2 spot out of the Pirate bullpen. Slider that stays in. And then goes out.
That's the 7th home run that Daniel Hudson has allowed this season. Pinch hitter Alan Cordova.
It has been a tough year for Pirate bullpen home runs. Tony Watson struggled with it. Daniel Hudson struggling with it.
Joaquin Benoit has appeared in 2 games and given up a home run in each of his 2 appearances. Pirates bullpen looked like it was finding its footing around the All-Star break. It's been inconsistent.
And you've got to have that. You've got to have that for, let's be honest, most nights 3 innings.
(3-0) on Cordova. Walks him on 4 pitches. Here comes Ray Searage. For Daniel Hudson, it's not the year he was hoping to have his first season, signing a 2-year contract over the winter. Pirates started using him in late inning situations at the beginning of the year, and he struggled, and they dropped them down in lower pressure situations, and seemed to kind of recover, but been a tough go. Solid guy.
And it looks like he owns this 8th inning. Nothing happened in the Pirate bullpen.
Dusty Coleman. How about him in 9 games this season in the big leagues? 2 of them against Pittsburgh. He's hit a pair of homers. Tonight 3 hits. He'll be out of play. Manuel Margot 0 for 4. And a ball and a strike. Pirates need to come back again to remain 4.5 back. Otherwise, they'll drop to 5.5 off the paces. The other scores show you the Brewers shut out the Rays for a 2nd straight night. Hard hit, nice pick. 1, 2.
Well, that was a shot at Josh Harrison. Josh has certainly done his job tonight. Around the horn. Good pick, quick release, about chest high. It's kind of the way you draw it up. The fact that it was hit that hard made it comfortable all the way around.
Carlos Asuaje hitless in 4 trips. Pirates have been out hit 10-5. Now trail 5-2. Hudson followed LeBlanc, who pitched a scoreless 7th. Cole gave up 8 hits. Two and 1. Ball's tapped foul. 2 and 2. It is. Remember Bobby Cox saying this several years ago, the Hall of Fame manager of the Atlanta Braves, when he was asked about the makeup of the Braves and how well their team had did all those great years, especially with their pitchers. Kirby Yates is the righty. And
got to him last night.
The lefty Torres. But say the toughest part about putting a team together each and every year is the bullpen. It's a one variable that is just so inconsistent. You just can't count on it year in and year out. Pirates have been able to count on it this year. They trail 5-2. Will Myers, it's this line drive with 2 outs, and Starling Marte can't grab it. Comes off his glove, it's a double, it's 1-0. And then in the 5th inning, Will Myers, this line drive laser, after Yevgeny Solarte had reached an infield hit. And then in the bottom of the 7th inning, the Pirates got Josh Harrison leading off, hits this home run, his 12th, off of Phil Maton. An Adam Frazier base hit got the Bucks to within 1, but Daniel Hudson gives up the 2-run homer to Dusty Coleman. His 9th game this season for the Padres. It's a 3-hit night for him. It's his 3rd home run. Longtime minor leaguer for the Oakland A's organization. It's his 3rd major league homer and 2nd against the Pirates in a week. And here's Kirby Yates, who struggled last night.
Oh, I guess a 1/3 of an inning, 6 earned.
He's right back up on that horse.
Sometimes, yeah, to add insult to injury, you still see that baseball. Now, sometimes you'll see a pitcher that will go to his manager and say, listen, I want back out there. I mean, a manager wants to hear that. Now, it doesn't always work out, but any pitcher worth his salt wants to get out there and get rid of that bad taste. Big part of that ERA number happened last night.
There's that little cricket play by Josh Bell, tucking those hands in and getting a hit on what looked to be an impossible pitch.
And even though Yates wants to get back out there, Andy Green will not tolerate a lot of this sort of thing with a 3-run lead late.
Pretty remarkable how Bell was able to do that.
Yeah, he gets his hands in. He not only gets his hands in, but gets his body out of the way too.
Yeah, a lot of defensive changes. Cordova stays in the game to play left as he pinch hit. There's Jay once again. Up the middle, and a nice stop by the shortstop, and they turn it into a double play. Coleman to Solarte, who just moved over from 3rd base, the bare hand play, and a double play.
Wow, that was huge. Is it Coleman's night or what?
Is it ever? Heck of a play by Coleman, and Solarte goes to that bare hand.
And you will see that on some highlight shows right there. That's exactly what Yates needed.
Dusty Coleman, 6 years in the A's minor leagues, 28th round pick in 2008. Wichita State, and then signed by the Royals as a minor league free agent for the 2015 season. He got 5 big league at bats 2 years ago. Spent all of last year at AAA Omaha. The Royals organization hit .239, wasn't completely healthy. Spent time on the disabled list, parts of 2 months on the DL. And signed with the Padres as a minor league free agent in December.
Just seen 5 games of him that he looks like a player.
Spangenberg moved from left to 3rd. You just saw Solarte, who had moved from 3rd to 2nd. Middleman of that double play. Polanco facing Kirby Yates. Hit the home run off of Yates in the 7th inning last night as a pinch hitter. 7th home run allowed by Kirby Yates. And 2-2.
Not guessing right there. Pirates just a bounce away from having Polanco come up again with a couple men on against Yates. Didn't happen. Went the other way, went upside down, and became a double play.
That ball was, when it was past the mound, it just looked as though Coleman was kind of a desperate lunge at it. And wasn't going to have much of a chance.
Yeah, maybe stop it, but no outs.
Yeah. And to turn that into a double play. Punch to the gut. Three and two.
Yeah, that's worth another look. I mean, this could be the ball game for the Padres. Hold on.
On that look, that hop off the mound slowed it down just enough. A big hop off the pitcher's mound gave Coleman the chance. Well, Polanco reaches. They'll bring up Cervelli. Needs 27 pitches last night in 1/3 of an inning. Italian action for Francisco Cervelli. And the strike. He's in the hole. Oh, 2 count. Cervelli singled off of Maton last inning. Also had a base hit off of Yates in the 7th inning last night. But he's in the hole 0-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Yates walked a pair in his 1/3 of an inning. He's walked 11 this season in 38 innings of work. His brother pitched for the Pirates a few years ago. Tyler Yates out of the Pirates bullpen.
And tremendous ratio of strikeouts to innings.
Two and two.
Wasn't there a Byron Yates that worked for KDKA?
I think so.
I was thinking about that last night. We had plenty of time to think about it during his 1/3 of an inning.
Davidas Neverauskas up in the Pirates bullpen. KDK radio on this day in 1921. It was Harold Arlen, that Westinghouse engineer, who called a Phillies Pirates game at Forbes Field from a box seat behind home plate. First ever broadcast on the radio. Pitch just misses. 3 and 2.
And then there's what, grandson Steve Arlen pitched for the Padres.
Yeah, that's right. Keeping the ball in on him.
And, yeah, keeping the ball in him, but he's got a 3-run lead. I think the priority will be strikes. He's got a fairly short leash on him tonight, I would think, if he misses here. By the way, this date in Pirate history, too. I think it was 1969. Willie Stargell hit that home run at Dodger Stadium, over 500 feet.
Yep.
I can still see it go over that one singular palm tree. Seemed like it landed out in the parking lot.
Tyler Graham, who works in our truck, is at the game tonight with his son.
Yeah. Yeah.
Caden.
The Stargell statue.
Pretty cool shot there.
Yeah.
And a dribbler. Oh, promising start. Dusty Coleman turned that ground ball. Looked like it was going to be a hit into a double play. Concluding game of the series tomorrow afternoon, a Kids Sunday. Jamison Tyone for Pittsburgh against Clayton Richard. Coverage starts at 1 on AT&T Sportsnet with Pirates pregame, presented by WB Mason. Youngsters 14 and under will get a backpack tomorrow. That is quite a sign there, and he's got a fan club on hand. How about that? No more chemo, brain tumor stable. Let's go, Jay.
That bring everything back down to home.
That smile does too, doesn't it?
Absolutely. There's the star of the game right there.
Yeah.
Star of the game.
Yeah.
You are it, young man.
Here is Dovydas Neverauskas, a Lithuanian native. Had a 1-2-3 ninth inning on Thursday in the 6-0 shutout over the Reds. Second stint with the Pirates. His 5th major league game. Corey Spangenberg to lead things off. Spangenberg, Solarte, Myers. Still Dinelson Lamet's game to win, and Cole on the hook for the Pirates.
98 miles an hour.
Dovydas Neverauskas, again the Lithuanian-born pitcher who made his major league debut earlier this summer. Recalled for a second time on Wednesday, a .296 ERA at Indy. It's actually his 3rd stint with the Pirates. Came up briefly in April. Signed as a non-drafted free agent July 9th, 2009. In 36 games at Indianapolis this season, 42 strikeouts and 45 2/3 innings. 19 walks. Word was he was really Much better at command issues down there, and strikes out. Spangenberg looking. You know, the Pirates are going to be faced with an interesting decision, by the way, come Monday. Talking about that bullpen and how tough it is to construct a pen. You see, boy, catches the corner. You have to wonder what they're going to do when they add the veteran George Contos before Monday night's game. Who leaves that bullpen?
Well, you know, it's unfair to speculate, really.
Yeah, it is.
You have ideas, and I've got.
Yeah, we're not going to. I'm not
yeah.
suggesting that we should name a name.
Oh, right, exactly.
I'm just saying it's going to be a tough choice for them. Somebody's going to have to go.
But we also have some thoughts.
Yep.
Unsaid thoughts too.
Yep. Solarte, 2 for 4. It's 0-2. He scored ahead of Myers, the home run in the 5th. One ball, 2 strikes. We want to pass along our thoughts to the Ernie Tucci family. Ernie Tucci was the unofficial, I guess, mayor of Sewickley for years. A great, great Pirates fan, and passed away this past week. I wasn't like a person in the village of Sewickley that didn't know Ernie Tucci.
And you and I have both been down to the rec center there.
Yep, he was a big part of the men's club down there. Why?
Yep. Some good baseball meetings with those folks. Some early morning visits.
This mass yesterday at St. James in Sewickley for Ernie Tucci, Father Tom Berg. 1-2 pitch, and still 1-2. Still 1-2 on Solarte. Neverauskas, first born and raised Lithuanian to pitch in the major leagues. Happened to be in Cooperstown, Steve, over the All-Star break. My son and I went to Cooperstown, the Hall of Fame, and they were kind enough to give us one of those behind-the-scenes white glove tours.
Yeah, yeah.
And as we were going into the vault, for lack of a better word, a young lady was taking out a cart where they're going to have other displays, and on the cart, 2 Pirates caps, 2 different style Pirates caps. I said, what just so happened coincidentally they were getting the cap of Davidas Neverauskas and Gifton Gope prepared, because history was made this year.
Pretty good coincidence.
Yeah.
Being there. Yeah.
And Gope, of course, from Africa. Ball in the air to right, and Polanco.
I saw also a picture of his son Ryan. He had Honus a Wagner bat.
Yeah. And the Babe Ruth baseball. How cool is that? The last home run Babe Ruth ever hit was hit at Forbes Field. He had that 3-homer game.
Yeah, yeah.
And the first one ever to be hit over the roof at Forbes.
I mean, to have that.
Phil Coyne remembers, long time.
Do you have that ball in your hand? I mean, it's got to be. You look at the meaning and what that represents, or that bat. I mean, you get goosebumps thinking. Really, you seriously do. Talk about baseball history.
May 25th, 1935, Ruth hit 3 home runs at Forbes Field. The last 3 he would ever hit. Would retire a short time later. Hit them for the Boston Braves.
Bigger than life.
Yeah.
Bigger than life. I don't know if anybody will ever come close to that status in America again. That
I think it is so wild to think that the longtime Yankee Babe Ruth finishes his career with the Boston Braves, comes to Pittsburgh, hits his last three, 7-12, 7-13, 7-14. And the last home run he hits over the roof at Forbes. First time ever. And the record stands for 40 years till Henry Aaron breaks it. Yeah, and Phil Coyne, still going strong, was there.
Yeah. You know, Pittsburgh has such characters, and I say it in the kindest word and the most compliment. He is Pittsburgh, well, icon, character, however you want to say it, but we're glad to have him.
Absolutely.
We're fortunate to have him.
At the age of what, 98 now?
Yep.
How much history, how much baseball he has witnessed. A Pittsburgh treasure for sure. Harrison at the edge of the grass fields it, and Neverauskas a 1-2-3 top of the ninth. Pirates trail by 3. Brad Hand, the closer, to try and earn a save. Shots from the Allegheny Health Network Super Mo. But the Pirates are trailing 5-2. Get your rally caps on. Start to grind it out here against Brad Hand. Yep. That ERA.
Yep. 7 saves. How about 55 innings? 72 strikeouts. Impressive. He's got 3 runs to work with. We need base runners, plural.
Osuna to bat for Neverauskas. Brad Hand, the former Marlin. Second year with the Padres. strike on Osuna.
Keeping the faith.
Cardinals beat the Reds. Brewers shut out the Tampa Bay Rays. And earlier, the Cubs were winners.
Well, we did good against everybody coming back last night.
Yeah.
Different tonight.
Brad Hand has saves in 5 straight outings. Tomorrow it's Clayton Richard, middle of your screen there.
5 and 12.
Hand makes Osuna look bad. He does that a lot these days, Brad Hand.
A lot of spin, a lot of speed taken off the pitch. Handling Osuna handily.
Former Marlins starter, Brad Hand. Over the years, Darren Balsley has done great work with the pitching staff, in particular relievers. It's kind of like the Ray Searage version of bullpen guys. Ray Searage has done, of course, great work, the Pirates pitching coach. Over the years, a lot of credit, rightfully so, with both starters and relievers, in particular guys like Francisco Liriano, A.J. Burnett, Ivan Nova, to name a few. Jason Grilli. Look at some of the reclamation projects the Padres have picked up, including Brad Hand. He's been outstanding. One ball, one strike on Marte. 0 for 2, a hit by pitch and a walk. One and 2. Nelson Lamet would go to 6 and 4 in his first 12 major league starts.
Working a one-hitter through 5 2/3 tonight.
Even
so do we.
Yeah.
So do we.
Two and 2 on Marte. Well, 3 and 2. Anything to get them started. We're going to walk would do. Frazier to follow, and then McCutchen. Five runs, 10 hits for the Padres. 2 runs, 6 hits for the Pirates. A roller to third. And the Padres even the series. Brad Hand earns the save for Dinelson Lamet, and with Dusty Coleman, how big was he? 3 hits, home run in the 8th. Of course, Will Myers got them off to a 3-0 lead with his double in the 3rd and his 2-run homer in the 5th off Cole. But Coleman, the 2-run homer off of Hudson after the Pirates had crept within 1. That was really the backbreaker.
Yep, two-run home runs, big items.
Brad Hand earns his 8th save. And the Pirates will need a win tomorrow to pick up a series win. The Padres won the series last weekend in San Diego. Let's go out to Paul Antique.
All right, Greg and Steve, thank you much. And unfortunately, the winning streak for the Pirates kind of short-lived. It stopped at 2 games, and they're going to have to, as Greg just said, find a way to pull out tomorrow's game to come up with a series win over the Padres. And really, once again, we talked about so much that magic number of 4, obviously not, would not have been enough tonight. But offensively, they were really handled by Lamet.
Yeah, Lamet did a great job tonight, and the Pirates really didn't get any opportunities in this game until much later on. But Dinelson, he was in charge tonight. We saw basically the same thing that we saw in San Diego. The guy, 5 2/3 innings tonight, 6 in San Diego. Tonight, just 1 base hit, 2 in San Diego. One of them happened to be, they bunched a couple and got a walk in there to get a couple runs in San Diego. Couldn't get anything off of him tonight. So, yeah, for the second time in a row, he has been very dominant against the Pirates. And the Pirates really weren't able to find anything different to do to attack him to get a better result.
They cut it to 1, had the bases loaded with Andrew McCutcheon at the plate, but did not come through. A couple of 2-run bombs by the Padres, and they win it by the score of 5-2. Pirates come up on the short end. Teague and I will break it all down for you straight ahead on Pirates Postgame, presented by the Allegheny Health Network, right here on AT&T Sportsnet.